we are trying to explain. This is stabilizer. This stabilizer is having the connection directly from the grid. The grid is over there. It's a government, Karnataka government supply, and the wires are coming from there into the stabilizer. This stabilizer is having the connection to the variable frequency drive. This is the variable frequency drive, and this variable frequency drive will support the motor, where the motor is 1440 RPM and it is 30 kilowatt. This VFD will control the RPM of the motor by a slow start. The motor starts very slow, and here you can see in this actual frequency, set frequency, actual frequency, and all these parameters you can see. So it is not yet started. Okay. So now what we are showing you is a motor. This motor is a 30 kilowatt motor. This motor is 30 kilowatt gear motor. This is a gear, reduction gear. This motor is 1440 and this is 26 reduction. So the shaft rotates at 55 rotations in a minute. So in the motor, what do you have? In the motor you have weight and you have force. Weight is the actual parameter for the motor to supply and rotate the flywheel. Now coming here, you are having a gearbox. The gearbox is speed increasing 1, input is 1 RPM, output is 10 RPM. So this shaft rotates at 10 rotations and this shaft rotates at 1 rotation. So the weight of the motor is traveling all the way from the shaft into the gearbox and out to outlet, force into distance. And here the weight is coming after the flywheel is in a standstill position. This weight is not affecting because it is not in motion. The motor is not in motion. So in flywheel, what do we have? We have inertia, mass and gravity. This is supported by the gravity. Now I'll show you how gravity is affected. This is the radius, half of the diameter is radius, and when the radius is coming down by the force, see now I'm putting the force. It's a very hard system. I'm able to put the force. This is what the motor will do. When we are putting the force, the radius is going down and the half of the radius is coming up. So in the corners of the flywheel where it is coming up is the actual weight to push up. So in this system, when we are rotating the radius, the flywheel, I am putting all my force. In the same way, the motor will put the force. And the mass is getting rotated. So when the top of the flywheel comes down, the half of the radius is coming down. The half of the radius is getting pulled down by the gravity. And when the gravity is pulling it down, then the weight of the motor will make the flywheel to push from the maximum corner side, which is the most important inertial area, to lift it to the next half. So half is going down and half is coming up. In this way, the mass, this is the mass. Mass is measured in kgs. So this is 10 tons of weight, 10,000 kgs. So this mass is getting rotated by the weight of the motor. And the force is acting on the weight. And both are rotating the flywheel. So the mass is getting rotated by the weight of the motor. So here, this is a guide wheel, and this guide wheel is connected to the generator. This generator is 250 RPM and 15 kilowatt. Always the load is 70% on the generator and 70% on the motor. Now when we talk about the motor is 30 kilowatt and the total weight is 14 ton. In this 14 ton, we will be using 70% of the motor weight, that is 21 kilowatt. By using 21 kilowatt, we are rotating 14 tons of weight in how many seconds? 30 seconds, 300 rotations. So this is how we are able to create energy. First of all, we should understand what is the weight which is required to rotate a flywheel with 14 tons of weight in 30 seconds or 5 seconds or 2 seconds or 1 second. First we should understand how much motor weight should be there to rotate the flywheel. That is the mass, that is the inertia, that is the gravity. So all these things are interrelated like a pendulum. One offers the other the helping hand, thereby everything is going in a round circle. So this is how we should understand the energy getting from the motor, the force, the weight is acting on the mass and the mass is acting on the generator. So EMF, electrical magnetic forces, are generated in the generator. So this EMF, electrical and magnetic forces, are countered by the inertia and the force of the motor. The force of the motor and the weight of the motor and the inertia of the flywheel, the centripetal centrifugal forces, are able to curtail and stop the EMF coming into the bearings of the flywheel. Thereby, the weight of the motor is getting soaked inside the flywheel and it continues to rotate after the motor is switched off. This is how the energy is getting transferred from the weight of the motor into the flywheel. The weight of the flywheel and the mass, the weight absorbed by the inertia and the flywheel, are continuing after the motor gets switched off. So this is a disc type flywheel. In rim type flywheel, the energy stored will be twice the amount of disc type flywheel, 1 by 4 mr square and 1 by 2 mr square. This is how we are going to explain about the technology. Thank you.
ये हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं सर जी, ये हमारे वर्कशॉप है और ये वर्कशॉप के अंदर हमारा रिसर्च चलते रहता है। तो ये छोटा सा वीडियो आपको बता रहे हैं, ये हमारा रिसर्च यूनिट है जिसमें आपको ये बता रहे हैं कि हमारे पास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है और हमारे पास पूरी तरह से लोग हैं, सब कुछ है, एवरीथिंग वी हैव। तो इसके मुताबिक से अगर आप समझ सकते हैं कि हमारे पास जो है वो काफ़ी है और बड़ा से बड़ा मशीन बनाने के लिए। तो धन्यवाद, ये आपको नमन करते हुए दंडवते प्रणाम। This is 3 meter dia and this 3 meter dia is a type of wheel where we can make the spokes, the hub, everything fixed in this thing by a fabrication. And this wheel is 3 meter in dia. Now we are preparing 6 meters in dia. The actual flywheel is a forged one, F-O-R-G-E-D, forged one. So this is a fabricated wheel where we are showing you the height is 3 meters. So kindly imagine how 6 meters will be. So we are preparing a 70-ton 6 meter dia rim type heavy solid flywheel. So this is just a system where you can imagine how big and how width it. The width is 12, I mean to say the height is 6 meters and the width is 560 mm and the weight is 70 ton. So this is just a idea for you to understand how the 3 meter, this is the video, in the video you are seeing only just 3 meters. So to double this is 6 meters. So kindly imagine the massive wheel. We are doing our best. We are doing so many different experiments, and very soon we'll be casting and testing one wheel and then forging continuously for the rest of the plants to be erected in various parts of the country. So this is how we are doing our research. So thank you.